Oh, well, listen, while we are navigating the stresses of managing family relations during the wedding time with Dr. Eve, we thought we'd add some advice being shared by taking and at least talking how to navigate certain logistics of your wedding. Now, for this, we've brought in talented wedding planner Jessica Hubert, who is the owner of Mon Amour Events. Jessica, it's great to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Last time you were here, we spoke about Pinterest. Now it's all about, where do you start when you're engaged and you want to start planning your wedding? For you, what's the number one tip when it comes to starting?
I think the most important is to definitely do your research. It's so important to just know that, these are more or less the dates that we're looking at, and then take it from there.
Okay. Doesn't the venue determine the date, or is it?
Definitely.
Okay.
If you're looking for a venue that's very popular, if you could say it like that, you're looking at easy a year in advance to getting a venue. So your peak seasons would be between November and March. And then your mid to low season would probably be obviously in between those months. And then you're looking at about 6 to 8 months before the time.
Okay.
Yes.
So that at least gives you some time to plan, because I can only imagine when it comes to the budget, your venue hire and often the dress can be the most expensive. In terms of venue trends, what have you been noticing?
Look, venue trends, it's so hard because obviously all of the brides are trying to keep up with the trends, but we need to remember that you need to keep to your style. But to be very honest with you, every bride is looking for either the Winelands wedding or, that mountain backdrop. But I would definitely say, for example, in this photo, that outdoor weddings is definitely such a big, we have to have that, just because there's a lot of time for outdoor weddings, having that, how could I say, no noise restrictions, party all night, have fun, which is so much fun. And then also you get the industrial feel, which is really a trend at the moment, doing something that maybe possibly like a warehouse like this, the old tannery, because brides are looking for something different at the end of the day. They don't want a typical, the same wedding all the time.
Yes, I went to a wedding last weekend where they Airbnb'd a house in Misty Cliffs, and it was unbelievable and so different as well.
Exactly.
Now, when it comes to the dress, how soon should you order and make plans to have your dress made?
Look, I think with every bride, you just want to start. You don't want to wait. So you just got to remember that you're only getting married in a few months or a while. So I would say to be realistic, about 6 to 8 months before the wedding. Just so that you can make sure that you have all that time to do your final fittings and all of that. But then again, it all depends on alterations. If you're a bit of a picky bride, then you might need to go for a few more than
fittings,
usual.
Keeping that in mind.
Yes.
Let's talk some of the wedding trends, dress trends that you've come across lately.
Yes. So what we've got a few images actually here today to show you that there's a few that we've seen on the bridal runway. So you'll see that on this image, the bows on the shoulders is actually becoming so prominent, which is really beautiful. So bows are really definitely in this season.
That's very cute.
Yeah, and then they've also accentuated it also either on the waist, which is quite stunning, or off the shoulder. And then something very interesting is actually a touch of color.
Okay.
So you'll see they'll use different types of materials to just create that soft pink instead of your typical off-white or something like that.
I like that it's breaking away from the traditional way you would look at a dress. You would assume it must just be white, but I've seen some ivory ones, but it's great. Well, Jessica, I believe you're not going anywhere. We still have to talk about table decor and planning your wedding, so don't go anywhere as we head back to Dr. Eve.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, we are still with Jessica from Mon Amour Events, and while Dr. Eve is handling out the drama and the family, we want to make sure that everything's exciting leading up to your wedding day. That's why Jessica is helping us to talk about different table setting ideas and trends that you're seeing for 2018. You've got a beautiful spread here in front of us, so let's start with, I love the bronze that I'm seeing here.
Yeah, no, look, this setup is specifically for that modern industrial bride.
Okay.
I don't know if you've actually noticed the matte black cutlery before.
I have not.
But that is definitely coming in, so you can only imagine. I wasn't able to get it today, but that could also really look beautiful with the setting. And then either a touch of that charcoal color.
Yes, it's very different because you'd never think of putting matte black cutlery out for a wedding. I mean, you can see the coppers and the golds coming through, but generally the standard cutlery is usually silver.
Yes, exactly. But these days there's so many options, and I just love those daring brides that are willing to do something like that.
Yeah, so that's for the industrial look. What else do you have for us?
So the one right next to that is actually for a more girly girl, if I could say it like that. Floral is something that I feel will always remain something that brides love. You'll see that this really has some beautiful touches on the stationery or even the napkins. So you'll see on this one actually next to it, there's so many different patterns that napkins these days have, and not to mention actually candles.
Okay. Yeah, candles can really, really add and really create that atmosphere as well. So we've got something for the industrial look, we've got something for the girly girl bride, and your last one?
So that one is more for your romantic sort of style. Okay. So more simplistic and clean, but just some elegant touches, like you've got your cut crystal glassware.
I really, really like that. Now, in terms of the, the trimmings, that can really add up on the wedding day in terms of if you don't want to break the budget.
Yes.
Is it better to hire all of these things? Would you rather recommend they make them? What is your take on not breaking the bank when it comes to planning your wedding?
Look, what's quite nice is that a lot of venues actually include items. So rather add like touches of it. So you'll see that with this element here, we've got a standard glassware, but then just adding a small little touch of something crystal is really something quite nice. Or just like we've got just our standard silver cutlery over there. So just those small touches instead of actually, if you wanted to go through with all the hiring items.
Well, I really like that. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us and showing us these wonderful trends in front of us. You're getting married pretty soon, right? How's the planning going? Everything done?
Well, we'll say it's on track. We'll say it's
on track. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing this with us. And where can people find you on social media?
We're definitely on Instagram. So we've got some Instagram stories and all of that, keeping up to date, as well as Facebook.
Oh, fantastic. Well, make sure you follow Jessica on Instagram. And of course, good luck to you if you're busy planning your wedding.